Good Friday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a look outside our weather window. And today was a beautiful day, wasn't it? Lots of sunshine out there. And look at this beautiful shot looking down from our Blag Mountain Sky-Fi Tower camera up around the Leavenworth area, looking down at the Leavenworth, the city of Leavenworth, and the beautiful Upper Valley. Boy, that's a picture that you can just put on your wall at home, isn't it? Beautiful shot. And we had a nice day today with some sunshine out there and some mild temperatures. So let's see how the rest of our final weekend of 2019 shapes up. Got your forecast for you folks in Omak as well. Kind of a cool one today. We did top those temperatures though for our Friday. Tonight about lower to mid 20s for us. For Saturday, we will be in the lower to mid 30s. A good chance for rain mixed with snow both Saturday and Sunday in the Wenatchee area. Not so much for you folks up north in Omak. A little bit of sun on Sunday, but do expect some wet, warm weather as we move into the upcoming weekend and beyond, and very warm as we get close to the new year. We'll talk all about that coming up in your weather forecast coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. A tiny irrigation district in Douglas County says it's working hard to comply with the law after illegally borrowing money from its own commissioners. Residents at Wenatchee's Cascadian building can expect some changes in the way their Section 8 subsidized rent is handled. And when the new year rings in next Wednesday, it will bring with it a host of new laws. We'll tell you what they are. But first, we begin tonight. One person was injured and traffic was snarled for a time yesterday afternoon after a 5-car pileup near Nanazawa Boulevard in Moses Lake. The Washington State Patrol reports that shortly before 3 o'clock, a Chevy Equinox being driven by 56-year-old Deborah Landrum of Moses Lake struck the Jersey barrier near the stoplight at Highway 17 and Yanazawa Boulevard, rolled over and struck two vehicles stopped at that light. Those two vehicles in turn struck the two vehicles in front of them. Landrum was transported to Samaritan Hospital in Moses Lake. The 10 occupants of the other 4 cars were not injured. The cause of the crash is under investigation, but the State Patrol does not believe drugs or alcohol was a factor. Well, a tiny irrigation district in Douglas County is working hard to comply with the law after illegally borrowing money from its own commissioners. In 2015, the Palisades Irrigation District borrowed $40,000 from 3 commissioners to replace its mainline pipe and planned to repay them at 6% interest. But the state auditor says the law prohibits commissioners from earning money on their own district's contracts. The commissioners said they weren't aware of the law when they struck that deal. They now say they've adopted new bylaws and controls to keep such violations from happening in the future. The Palisades District brings water to about 600 acres in Moses Coulee. Residents at Wenatchee's Cascadian building can expect some changes in the way their Section 8 subsidized rent is handled. NCWLIFE's Jefferson Robbins explains.
Kenmore real estate developer Trig Fortune has owned the Cascadian apartments since 2004, renting its 84 one-bedroom apartments to low-income seniors and disabled adults. But a year from now, he plans to drop the building's Section 8 contract with the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. That won't force any tenants to move out, but by 2021, it will require them to seek out Section 8 vouchers from the Chelan County Wenatchee Housing Authority, instead of applying through the building's managers. Tenants receiving HUD's Section 8 assistance pay a percentage of their income toward their rent, with the remainder subsidized by the federal government. As the subsidized tenants leave, their units would become available to non-Section 8 applicants at market rates. Built in 1929, the Cascadian began its life as a hotel and converted to residential apartments in 1971. It's known for its outstanding views of the surrounding Wenatchee Valley. Jefferson Robbins, NCWLIFE.
Well, when the new year rings in next Wednesday, it will bring with it a host of new laws. Included is a rise in the minimum wage from $12 an hour to $13.50. That will be the last annual increase for the minimum wage under Initiative 1433, which was passed by voters in 2016 when the minimum wage was $9.47 an hour. 2020 will also usher in a new law that raises the age for purchasing tobacco and vaping products, that raised from 18 to 21. Washington will become the 10th state to raise the age for buying such products to 21. In addition, paid family medical leave will begin, with many workers eligible for 12 to 18 weeks of paid family leave for the birth or adoption of a child or for serious health issues for the worker or a family member. Workers will receive 90% of their regular pay with a maximum of $1,000 a week. Also, there are new requirements for children in car and booster seats. Included in that is all children 4 years and older and under 4 feet 9 inches tall must use a booster seat until they're 10 to 12 years old. Well, coming up next, we'll tell you about a new roundabout proposed for Highway 28. The Washington State Department of Natural Resources is already gearing up for the 2020 fire season. And Les Schwab Tire Centers, the largest independent tire seller in the country, has confirmed that it's putting the company up for sale. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Are you like many who are lacking in their retirement plan but are skeptical to talk to an advisor? Are you concerned about where you should put your money or who to trust? At Solomon Financial, we are more about the people we serve than policies or products. We are a fee-based fiduciary with the mission of giving you the peace of mind so you can live the retirement of your dreams. If you have any of these questions or concerns, we'd welcome you to come see us.
You want to help others. You need a solid career. You can have both with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, stop by our campus at 595 Grant Road across from Safeway or visit chartercollege.edu.
At some point, we realized that value and practicality go hand in hand. A time when an unnoticed accumulation of items has become burdensome. These possessions still have value, but now lack usefulness. Donate your unwanted items to Goodwill and become a job creator. Your donations allow Goodwill to provide much-needed training to job seekers in our community, and that's pretty useful for everyone. Be a job creator. Donate. Goodwill. There's more behind the store.
Welcome back. In another news, there's another roundabout coming to the Quincy area, this time at the intersection of Highway 28 and White Trail Road. Most of the funding for the project will come from a $2.46 million grant from the Federal Highway Safety Improvement Program. The State Department of Transportation is working with Grant County on the design and a timeline for building the roundabout. The Quincy Valley Post-Register has reported this story. It's expected to be completed next year. White Trail Road is a popular route for traffic between Interstate 90 and Highway 28, bypassing Quincy. However, that popularity has often meant long waits for vehicles turning left onto the highway at the unmarked intersection. Another roundabout was recently completed on Highway 28 and 13th Avenue, that's southwest in Quincy. Excuse me. The Washington State Department of Natural Resources is already gearing up for the 2020 fire season, having recently received $250,000 in state funding to increase forest health and resilience to wildfires. DNR has been training a Washington Conservation Corps crew outside Chattaroy near Spokane.
Hi, I'm Allison Morrow with your DNR report. With all of the wet weather we've gotten recently in Washington, the snow and the rain, it may be hard to imagine that wildfire season is right around the corner. But that's exactly what this crew with the Washington Conservation Corps is preparing for right now. The crew you're seeing in this video is actually participating in chainsaw training.
This is a foundation course to give them the beginning tools to enhance their abilities to become better chainsaw operators.
This is my first day operating a chainsaw. I have cut 5 trees now with a chainsaw, all in the last 30 minutes.
DNR recently got $250,000 in state funding to increase forest health resiliency and reduce wildfire impact in the Northeast region, which will be the work of many of these WCC members.
We go around and we thin areas of high fire risk and reduce the amount of fuels in the area, reduce the likelihood of wildfire and just how fast it would spread.
The last couple of years, DNR has hired WCC crews to make forests less vulnerable to aggressive fires. It's a lot of work and can actually be dangerous if not done correctly, and that's why this training that you see here is so important.
I tell them, never fear the chainsaw, but give it the ultimate respect.
The crews are also doing this training in an important area, a 90-acre forest in the Riverside School District adjacent to where kids are learning and where there was a wildfire in July of 2018.
It was scary because it could have been like other fires in eastern Washington that spread.
For WCC members, this is an opportunity to determine whether they want to do this kind of work as a career.
It's the best job I've ever had.
Prepares you for a job outdoors that a classroom experience just doesn't give you.
Over the next several months, this crew will be working to reduce the impact of wildfire for 8 to 10 communities in Northeast Washington.
Les Schwab Tire Centers, the largest independent tire seller in the country, has confirmed it's putting the company up for sale. Analysts are predicting a selling price of up to $3 billion. Les Schwab has more than 410 stores in the West, including locations in Wenatchee, East Wenatchee, Chelan, Quincy, and Ephrata. Leslie Bishop, also known as Les, just for Les Schwab, who founded the company in Prineville, Oregon back in 1952. He died in 2007. His relatives have operated the company since and announced their intention to sell this week. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
AC Checker has new owners who put customer service first. When you have to get there on time, call fast, friendly, reliable AC Checker, 663-TAXI. AC Checker has the industry's only on-time or it's free guarantee. Conditions apply. Call AC Checker, 663-TAXI to schedule your cab or schedule online at acchecker.com. Call American Classic Taxi, 663-TAXI. That's 663-8294.
Mary Mates of Wenatchee believes a clean home is a happy home. Mary Mates provides holiday cleaning services to cheer about. Don't let the seasonal cleaning ruin the festive fun. Mary Mates can simplify your life at a great value. It's never too soon to start planning a holiday perfect home. Mary Mates of Wenatchee happily offers a worry-free guarantee. Locally owned and operated, let Mary Mates do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Call Mary Mates today.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Well, it's that time of year. Many drivers are readjusting to winter driving conditions. It's also a challenge for snowplow crews with the Washington State Department of Transportation. In tonight's feature story, Paul Weddle supervises the crews headquartered out of Leavenworth. He describes the dangers and risks of driving during hazardous weather conditions in a recent interview with our NCWLIFE special correspondent, Steve Hare.
So the guys really work hard to take care of the highway. They spend a lot of time and effort training and learning the roads so that they know what to do when the event happens. And I know the frustration a lot of people have is, you know, you're out in the 4-lane heading for Kashmir and the plows are going 15 miles an hour. Well, sometimes that's the safest speed for those trucks. And I know it's frustrating to be stuck behind them, But they're out there trying to make the road as safe as they can for everyone.
Well, it's a very dangerous job, I think, being a snowplow operator, isn't it?
There's a lot of hazards. There's a lot going on in the trucks, especially now that we have the wing plows, which is people try to pass on the right and don't realize that that wing is out there because of the snow, the dust, the blowing around behind the trucks. So it never pass on the right, please. It's not a good idea.
Have you ever been in a situation? Could you share any stories, any scare stories that you've been involved in?
So we've all had our near misses. You see the car coming behind you, and I've had several of them where they went to pass, and then the snow coming off of the plow hit their windshield, and now they can't see, and now they're driving all over the road and have to stop, and so then I have to stop because now they're in front of me. So yeah, I've had several of those.
Time now for a check of our north central Washington weather forecast as we head to the final weekend of 2019. Can you believe it? Already the end of the year. And let's once again take a look at this beautiful shot from our Blag Mountain Sky-Fi Tower camera up in the Leavenworth area, and a beautiful kind of black and white look back at the mountains this afternoon when we still had some light out there and the sun shining through those mountains. Leavenworth down here at the bottom or middle of the screen, I guess, but just a beautiful shot, wasn't it? Today was a beautiful day as well. Nice and mild out there, actually above where we should be for this time of year. Unofficially, our high temperature today, 36. We'll get to that in a second, but I found this from the National Weather Service today. They listed their top 10 weather events for 2019, and guess what came in at number 5? Yes, all the thunderstorms that we received back on June 27th. I'm sure you all remember that here in the Wenatchee area. We picked up about an inch of rain in an hour or so. Also in Waterville, funnel cloud was spotted as well during this same storm system back on June 27th. So that came in at number 5 for the National Weather Service in Spokane's top 10 weather events. Now let's get to that weather almanac and we'll show you today's high temperature. Unofficially 36 degrees, 31 is where we should be, 27 is where we started the day. That's above where we should be as well. 22 is our normal low temperature, 57 our record high back in 1980, record low 1 degree, and that was in 1996. Sunrise this morning 7:48 and set for us this afternoon at 4:16. How will Saturday shape up? It looks a lot like how today was, especially as far as temperatures go. We will be a little bit wetter though as we get later in the day on Saturday, and we'll talk about that in a second. But basically mid-30s to our east for you folks in Ephrata, Moses Lake, and Quincy. Also mid-30s, Wenatchee, Eniat, Chelan, also up in Omak. We'll pretty much all be around 32 to 36 degrees for Saturday. But as we take a look at that surface loop, things will begin to get a little bit wetter as we move into the upcoming weekend. Mostly cloudy for us tonight, light winds. Here's our big frontal boundary as it continues to move eastward. You can see lots of wind associated with that storm system as well. And as we get into the weekend then on Saturday, increasing clouds, at least a 20% chance for scattered snow showers. I think most of the snow will stay in the Cascades, most of the rain west of that over in the Puget Sound area. For Sunday, cloudy skies. We'll probably begin the day with some patchy fog, a 20% chance for snow on Sunday. That'll probably be the driest day we'll see in the next 4 or 5 days. Most of us east of the mountains will be dry. And then for Monday, partly cloudy and a little bit warmer. We're beginning to see a bit of a ridge of high pressure building up and over Washington State, and that's going to deflect most of the moisture up and over us for Monday, and we will see temperatures at least in the 40s for us. As we get into Tuesday then, it's going to get wetter. Just in time for New Year's Eve, a 50% chance for mainly rain showers because of those warm temperatures in the 40s. You can see almost all of Washington will see a lot of the wet stuff, a rain-snow mix for some, rain for some, and snow for some. A New Year's Day to start off 2020, only a 20% chance for rain, but look at the temperatures statewide. We are talking 50s down in the Tri-Cities, and we will be in the 40s for most of north central Washington. But after New Year's Day, look at Thursday. Cloudy skies, rain likely. It will stay unseasonably mild, so I think mostly rain for us here in north central Washington. But boy, this is a big, big storm system, so we're going to keep our eye on that as we get into the latter part of next week. Let's take a look now at your Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling 7-day forecast. 25 the overnight low tonight. A chance for rain and snow Saturday and Sunday, mid-30s. We go up into the upper 30s to near 40, but so does our chance for precipitation on New New Year's Eve, Tuesday, a 50% chance of the wet stuff and 39. Wednesday, rain mixed with snow and 40 degrees. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
Hi, I'm Ricardo, and this is Amanda, and we are from Impact Auto Sales.
Where you can expect a hassle-free car buying experience. With our wide selection of used cars, trucks, and SUVs, let one of our friendly sales staff help you find the vehicle that fits your lifestyle. We have financing available for all credit types and great low rates for first-time buyers. Call us today at 888-8000 or stop by 3522 State Highway 97A in Wenatchee. Impact Auto Sales, where we strive to make an impact on your life and not your wallet.
Some jobs are a calling. They call on something higher, something deeper, and a commitment to country that never dies. At Gisa Credit Union, we help you support local veterans. With every purchase you make with a Gisa Local Heroes Affinity debit card, we make a donation to select veterans organizations. After all, we can never repay them, but we can do our best to help a little with the Gisa Veterans Affinity debit card.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Friday to you. We'll start things off with a look at the Leschwab Prep girls basketball scoreboard from last night. Wenatchee and Eastmont fell in the first round of the Avista Holiday Tournament at Lewis and Clark State College last night. Panthers fought hard but lost 67-65 to Lewiston. Wildcats suffered a 47-28 loss at the hands of Walla Walla. Waterville-Mansfield girls fell on the road to Garfield-Palouse last night, 46-39. On the boys' Leschwab scoreboard, Walla Walla topped Eastmont 70-55 at the Avista Holiday Tournament. Wenatchee fell to Lewiston 51-42. Coming up on the schedule today, we do have some early scores from earlier at the Avista Tournament. On the girls' side, Eastmont edged Moscow 38-34. Wenatchee and Lapwai were playing at noon today. Cascade taking on Manson in the Cascade Tournament. Also earlier, Waterville-Mansfield girls continued on the Palouse against Colton. Cashmere at the Holiday Classic in Oregon against Liberty. That game just underway. Moses Lake hosting Issaquah, and the Chelan Holiday Hoops Tournament. Chelan taking on Eastside Prep tonight at 8 o'clock. On the boys' side of the score, well, we do have one score before we get to the schedule today. Lewiston and Eastmont was Eastmont topping Moscow 85-72. Wenatchee was to play University at the Avista Holiday Tournament. Cashmere in the Sundome for the Sundome shootout facing Cascade Christian. Cascade facing Manson in their holiday tournament in Leavenworth. Chelan hosting Welpinit in Chelan today. Also, the Moses Lake boys entertain Issaquah tonight at 7:30. Coming up tomorrow, Eastmont and Wenatchee continue playing at the Avista Tournament in Lewiston. Cashmere will play at the Holiday Classic in Oregon both tomorrow and Sunday. Chelan girls facing either Life Christian or Nooksack Valley tomorrow, either at 10 or 2, pending outcomes today. Moses Lake will face Central Valley tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock. On the boys' side tomorrow, Eastmont and Wenatchee also staying down in Lewiston for the Avista Tournament tomorrow. Cashmere has a 9 a.m. game against Port Angeles in the Sundome shootout. Cascade continues its holiday tournament while Chelan hosts Eastside Prep tomorrow at noon. Wrestling teams began various tournaments and matches actually today. Wenatchee earlier taking on Eisenhower in a makeup for a snow out from last week. Eastmont afraid of Moses Lake, Quincy, and Wenatchee girls at the Hanford Winter Cup. That started this morning at 9 o'clock. Eastmont coming up tomorrow will host the Cat Classic. That has 8 teams in town, including Quincy and Wenatchee for that one. Starts at 10 o'clock. Moses Lake boys are at the Hanford Winter Cup tomorrow at 10. Cashmere, Chelan, and 12 other teams at the Freeman Invite. That begins at 10. Wenatchee boys back in the pool coming up tomorrow. Panthers will host Pullman at Wenatchee High School. That begins at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, as the Cougars prepare to face Air Force tonight in the Cheez-It Bowl in Phoenix, Coach Mike Leach faces all kinds of questions, including particular non-football question. It was asked by a reporter if he could get a chance to visit with Air Force coach Troy Calhoun about their interest in the Nez Perce tribe.
I'd like to know more about the Nez Perce, and I know a little about them, and I'm picking up things, being up there in Pullman all the time. And of course, I wrote a book on Geronimo, which Geronimo was down this direction, and and I've been interested in Native American culture since I was a child, and so the fact that Coach Calhoun is, which I didn't realize, would definitely be interesting, and I'd love to talk to him about it. Of course, he's from Oregon, so Chief Joseph and his father were born there, and I've been to their birthplace, and of course we got the Snake River and the Sweetwater and the Salmon River all right there, and so no, it's a great setting. There'd be a lot to learn and pick up there if all of a sudden you pull away from football long enough,
Cougars and Falcons wrap up 5 bowls today. That's 7:15 kickoff. You can watch it on ESPN. Well, the Seahawks wrap up the regular season Sunday against the San Francisco 49ers. On the line, the NFC West Championship and a possible bye in the first round of the playoffs, maybe even home field advantage. Coach Pete Carroll says this is what you play for.
It's a very special week for us. Last week of the season, playing for everything, for a division and all that. Very fortunate to be in that situation. It is what we aim for. This is what we always look towards, and we always wonder if it's the chance to do something like this is going to happen on the road or happen at home. We're thrilled we'll be here. This is a really good football team we're playing, obviously. They've done so many good things this year. A fantastic turnaround by their program and by their coaches and their players and all that. They've been flying all season long. So they've had a lot of really extraordinary games since we saw them in the last month and a half or whatever it is. So they're ready for everything right now. So it's a great challenge.
Seattle and San Fran, last game on the docket Sunday. Kickoff at 5:20 on NBC's Sunday Night Football. By the way, a little interesting note, Brian Bosworth is being invited by the Seahawks to hoist the 12 flag on Sunday. I don't know why, but he'll be there. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Have a great weekend. Grant, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Eric. And finally tonight, we bring you this incredible footage on a trail camera by Scott Root of elk enjoying a summer dip in a pond. That is, until company arrives. Now let's check in with Dan Kuntz for a look at what's coming up Monday morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
Thank you very much, Grant. Join me Monday. My guest will be Jayla Young, who is the reigning Miss East Cascades. Her reign is about ready to come to an end. The Miss East Cascades pageant is coming up. We'll talk about what a year it's been for Jayla Young and how maybe you can get involved in the Miss East Cascades pageant. Plus, we'll have all the sports. It's a huge weekend of sports. We'll have the entire wrap-up from high school and college bowl games and Seahawks. Of course, go Hawks. Plus, we'll get you going with your weather forecast, your news, and everything you're used to. Start your work week live right here Monday morning at 7 a.m. for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with me, Dan Kuntz. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Dan. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.